Hello again, Matinik. So here we are again for another video tutorial, and it is a continuation of the sequence and series. And this time we are going to discuss about quadratic sequence. Okay, let me write it here. Quadratic sequence. So I heard some of you have enjoyed our lesson last week. Well, congratulations to those who have enjoyed it, and to those who did not. Just enjoy, okay? So, may enjoy nyo rin ito. Enjoy din gawin ito, quadratic sequence. Okay, so let us start with our first example. So we have here a sequence, and we are going to get its nth term, meaning its general formula or equation. Okay, so what is the general formula or general rule? Saan ko ba ginamit ang general rule na term? Oh, last year I told it or I called it general rule, okay, for sequences. Okay, so we have here negative 8 as our first term, then we have negative 6, negative 2, 4, and 12. So if you're going to identify whether it has a pattern, okay, or it has a common difference or a common ratio, so we're going to compare our terms. Okay, so let us try having the common distance or common difference rather. So we have negative 6 minus negative 8. That's positive 2, isn't it? Positive 2. Okay, why positive 2? Because we have negative 8 minus negative, wrong. Negative 6 minus negative 8. It's always the current term minus the previous term. Okay, so we have to change this to addition and to positive, so that is positive 2. Okay, and then we have here negative 2 minus negative 6 is negative 4. Then we have here positive 4 rather. Okay, sorry. And then we have here 4 minus negative 2 is positive 6. And then we have here 12 minus 4 is positive 8. So, you see, we do not have a common difference, but then we can still see a pattern, isn't it? So, parang may pattern pa rin siya. So, 2, 4, 6, 8. So, what do you think is the next term? That would be adding? Yes, that should be adding 10. So, the next term should be 22. Okay, so that's the pattern. So if we are going to look at it, may pattern pa rin siya. And if you're going to try comparing the differences of these terms, okay, yung result natin sa una nating pagkuha ng common difference, we have here 4 minus 2 is positive 2. And then 6 minus 4 is positive 2. And then we have 8 minus 6 is positive 2. And 10 minus 8 is positive 2. Voila! We have a common difference. Okay? So if this is, or if this is the case, then we have a quadratic sequence. Why? Because this is our first difference. Okay? First difference, and this is our second difference. Okay, so if we have this case, then we have a quadratic sequence. So how are we going to come up with its general rule or nth term? Okay, so this is how we are going to do it. Kukunin natin yung common difference, yung second difference niya, yung common difference na niya. So, that is 2. Always divide it by 2. Ibig sabihin kapag quadratic sequence, from the word quadratic, then we have an exponent of 2, or our n is raised to the second power. Okay? So, that is a quadratic sequence. Our leading term in our general rule will be a quadratic term, or it has an exponent of 2. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin, kukunin natin yung common difference natin dun sa second difference natin. So, we have that 2, always divide it by 2. Always divided by 2. And the result, which is equal to 1, is the coefficient. This will be the coefficient of n square. Okay? So, I hope that is clear. And then, after getting the coefficient of n square, kapag halimbawa ito hindi 1, okay? O, sige, ilagay natin 1. 1n. You are going to multiply it by n square. Okay, 1 times n square is n square, isn't it? Okay, that is n square. Anyway, we're going to have another example later on where this coefficient is not equal to 1. And then after that, you're going to get the first, ilan bang terms ito kanina? Originally, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 terms of n square. Meaning, we are going to substitute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to n. So, we have that n or 1 square. N is equal to 1, so 1 square. And then, we have n is equal to 2, so that is 2 square. I hope you're following. And then, we have 3 square. And then, we have 4 square. And then, we have, finally, we have 5 square. And then, we're going to simplify this time. So, we have 1 square is 1. And then, we have 2 square is 4. And then, we have 3 square is 9. And then, we have 4 square is 16, and then we have there 25. After this, we are going to get the number where 1 will become negative 8. So, paano naging negative 8 yung 1? Okay, so we are going to write those terms. Etong mga itong isusulat natin. So, lagyan ko siya ng ganyan. Sige, gamit tayo ng isa pang color ng ballpen so that you will fully understand. Okay. Gamitin natin itong orange. Wow. First time kong gamitin itong orange. Sana makikita siya sa video. Ayan. Sana siya. Okay. So, ito yung ating i-compare. Ayan. Kita siya. So, we are going to write here negative 8. Then, we have negative 6. And then, we have negative 2. Then, we have 4 and 12. Okay. I hope you are following. And so, the next thing that we're going to do is to compare. And we are going to subtract. Diba? Parang nagsusubtract tayo. Okay. So, we are going to subtract. Ayan. We are going to subtract. How are we going to subtract? We are going to subtract from aray ko. Sorry guys, may kumagat sa aking langgam. We're going to subtract upwards. Okay, so this will become 8 minus negative 1. So 8 minus negative 1, that will become positive, and this will become positive or plus, or this boom boom shake. Okay, so that will become plus, and this will become positive. Am I right? No, I'm not correct. Okay, so this will become negative 8 minus 1. Okay, parang ganyan. Negative 8 minus 1 is equal to negative 9, isn't it? Okay, so we have negative 9, and then negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. And then we have negative 2 minus 9 is negative 11. And then 4 minus 16 is negative 12. And then 12 minus 25 is negative 13. Okay, still we do not have a common difference yet. Parang may pattern pa rin siya kasi negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, negative 12, and negative 13. Meaning, we have a second term. Okay, we have a second term to or n squared. Okay, so to find that n term, di ba ito yung ito yung kapag, sige, balikan natin. Sorry guys. Sige, balikan natin. Review lang tayo ng konti, okay? Dito na tayo sa may sticky note. Para ayan, dito tayo sa sticky note. Di ba kapag sinabi natin quadratic equation or quadratic expression, we have, for example, 2x squared plus 4x plus 1. Ayan. Halimbawa ito, this is a quadratic expression since the highest exponent is 2. This is what we call the quadratic term. Okay? Ito yung tinatawag natin na quadratic term. I hope you can still remember this. This was discussed when you were in the junior high school. And ito yung naman yung tinatawag natin na linear term. Okay, quadratic term. And this is what we call the linear term. Ayan. And then, this is our constant. Ayan. So, nakuha natin yung quadratic term natin. Ayan yung quadratic term natin, n squared. But since hindi pa, dapat kasi ito, 0 na lahat yan. Okay? 0 lahat yan. Or common dapat yung, kapag ito naging 0 na lahat, ibig sabihin wala nang susunod na term. Okay? Pero kapag ito common na lahat, ibig sabihin that is already our constant. Di ba meron tayong ina-add na constant doon sa ating mga general term, yung ating d, kung natatanda rin nyo, n minus 1 times d. So, meron siyang constant. Okay? So, ito yung tatandaan natin na kapag hindi naging equal yung resulta dito, ibig sabihin meron tayong linear term. Okay? So, to find that linear term, we are again going to get the distance. Ayan. Okay. So, para saan na naman itong what do you call this? Common difference na ito. Para naman ito doon sa coefficient ng ating linear term. Coefficient ng linear term natin. So, we are going to subtract negative 10 minus negative 9 is negative 1, isn't it? Negative 11 minus negative 10 is negative 1. Negative 12 minus negative 11 is negative 1. Negative 1 pa rin yan. Okay, so again, we have a common term or common difference rather. This is now the coefficient of your linear term. Okay, so ibig sabihin yan, meron tayong negative n. So, negative 1, you multiply that by n. So, that is negative n. Okay, so negative n. And if we are going to look at this, so ito na yung ating common difference. So, anong ginawa natin sa common difference natin kanina? Dito, dinivide natin ng 2. Why? Kasi quadratic siya. Pero ito, we do not have to divide this by 2 anymore kasi linear siya. Okay, so I hope that is clear. And so, kukunin na naman natin ulit yung mga yung mga first 5 terms nito. So, first 5 terms nito ay negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5. Okay? And then, we are going to subtract. Okay, so subtract na natin siya doon sa, saan naman natin ito subtract ngayon? Dito naman natin siya isusubtract ngayon. Ito. Okay? So, kanina, kung sana itong mga ito ay pare-pareho na, then that is already the constant. Pero dahil hindi, di ba? Ito, this serves as our first difference ulit. First difference ulit yan. And then, ito ulit yung second difference. Ayan. Okay? So, again, we are going to try to find the values of, or first values of n. So, that is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Paano nangyari yun? Kasi first term, so 1 times negative, and then 2, second term, and times negative. Ayan. So, saan naman natin siya isusubtract ngayon? Gamit ulit tayo ng isa pang. Okay. Dito naman natin siya sa first difference. Dito natin siya i-compare ngayon. Ayan. So, negative 9. Negative 10, negative 11, negative 12, and negative 13. And then, we are going to subtract. So, negative 9 minus negative 1 is negative 8. Negative 10 minus negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 11 minus negative 3 is negative 8. Negative 12 minus negative 4 is negative 8. Then negative 13 minus negative 5 is negative 8. So voila! We already have a common difference. Meaning, this is already the constant. Okay? Kasi first difference siya. Okay? I-explain ko ulit ha. Eto kanina, wala siyang common difference sa first difference natin. So, kinuha natin yung second difference because we have seen that there is a pattern. So, nakita natin na yung common or yung second difference nila ay common. So, kinuha natin yun, dinivide natin by 2. So, that is the coefficient of our quadratic term. Ngayon, kinuha natin yung first 5 terms ng quadratic term natin, which is n square. So, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, and 5 square. So, we have 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25. And then, we have subtracted yung ating original na sequence. So, we have negative 8, negative 6, negative 2, 4, and 12. And then, we get negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, negative 12, negative 13. Again, hindi siya common. Kapag sana common ito na yung ating constant. Okay? Pero dahil common siya, ay hindi siya common, ibig sabihin, ito yung ating linear term. Okay, so para makuha naman yung coefficient ng linear term natin, isusubtract ulit natin yung mga yan. Okay, so we have negative 1, negative 1, negative 1, negative 1 yung sagot. So meaning, ito yung coefficient naman ng ating second or yung linear term natin. So ano yung linear term natin? Kapag meron tayong ax squared plus bx plus c, ito yung ating linear term. So, yung walang exponent. Ayan. Ito naman, kapag in terms of n squared, an squared plus bn plus c. So, yung n lang, yun yung ating linear term. So, ang coefficient niya ay negative 1, so we have negative n. So, kukunin ulit natin yung mga first 5 terms ng negative n. So, we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5. Then, we are going to subtract to the first difference of our anong tawag dito? Quadratic sequence or quadratic term. Ayan. So, we have negative 8, negative 8, negative 8, negative 8, negative 8 as a result. So, since common na siya, ibig sabihin, ito na yung end line or end of the line natin. Okay? So, ito na yung constant natin. So, kung susumahin na natin yan lahat, we have here our quadratic term. So, n is squared. And then, we have here our linear term. Sige, bilugan nyo kapag or kaya i-box para hindi kayo malito. So, we have here our linear term. We have negative na n. And then, we have here our constant, which is negative 8. So, we have here already our nth rule or our general rule or our nth term or our general formula. So, to check this, sige, let us do the checking. Okay? So, let us try. Yung 22 kanina, kailan yon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, that is 6 terms. So, let us try to find a sub 6. Ayan. So, we have a sub 6. So, dito natin siya i-apply. So, that is n squared minus n minus 8. So, we have a sub 6 equals, our n this time is 6 squared minus 6 minus 8. So, 6 squared is 36 minus 6, minus 8, sige. Excuse me, 36 minus 6 is 30. Minus 8, that is equal to 22. Ayan, 22 siya. So, baka naman ma'am, hindi, ikaw naglagay nun. Sige, try natin yung third. Okay, so a sub 3, tignan natin. So, n squared minus n minus 8. Okay, so we have 3 squared minus 3 minus 8. So, we have 9 minus 3 minus 8. 9 minus 3? Yes, 6. 6 minus 8, negative 2. Okay, so we get the correct nth term or the general rule. Okay, so I hope you have understood this equation or this example. Let us have another example. Okay, saan na yung another example natin? Ito siya. Okay, let us try this. Number 2. We have 8, 21, 40, 65, and 96. Tignan natin. So, we have to find the common difference. Let us see if we have a common difference on our first difference. 21 minus 8 is 13, isn't it? Am I correct? And then we have 40 minus 21 is ilan? Bakit? Anong nangyari? 40 minus 21 is 19. Okay, and then we have 65 minus 40 is 25, and then we have 96 minus 65 is 31. Ayan, so we do not have a common difference in our first trial. So this is our first difference. Let us try dun sa second difference naman natin. So 19 minus 13 is 6, 25 minus 19 is 6, and then 31 minus 25 is 6. So we have a common second difference, meaning this is a quadratic sequence. Okay, so we will get this 6. So 6 divided by 2, that is equal to 3. So 3 is the coefficient of our n square. Okay, so we have 3n square. Okay, and so the next thing that we're going to do is to get the first 5 terms of 3n square. So we have 3 times 1 square, 3 times 2 square, 3 times 3 square, 3 times 4 square, and 3 times 5 square. I hope you're following because I am enjoying this. So we have 1 square times 3 is 3. 2 square is 4 times 3 is 12. 3 square is 9 times 3 is 27. 4 square is 16 times 3 is 48. And then we have 5 square is 25 times 3, we have 75. And so we are going to subtract. Ayan na. Ang susunod na gagawin natin ay i-subtract natin yung mga kinuha natin dyan dito sa ating original na sequence. So we have 8, 21. Bakit lumabo siya? Kikita nyo siya, guys. Hindi ko kasi yung ating cellphone holder tinakpan yung ating screen. Okay, and then we have 40, 65, and 96. Okay, so we're going to subtract 8 minus 3 is 5. 21 minus 12 is ilan? 9. Okay, 40 minus 27 is 13. And then we have 65 minus 48 is 17. Then we have 96 minus 75 is 21. So again, we do not have a common difference. So we will get the next. So this is the first difference. First difference again yan. Tignan natin kung yung second difference natin ay magkakapareho. So 9 minus 5 is 4. Then we have 13 minus 9 is 4. Then we have 17 minus 13 is 4. And then we have 21 minus 17 is also 4. Okay, so meaning this is the coefficient of n. Okay, so yung ating linear term. So we have 4n. Okay, bilugan natin yung mga yon para hindi kayo malito mamaya kung nasaan sila. Ayan. So, kukunin ulit natin yung mga, sige, let us give a space para hindi kayo malito. Ayan. So, kukunin ulit natin yung first 4 terms nito, ay first 5 terms rather. So, 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, 4 times 4, and 4 times 5. Okay, so we have 4, and then we have 8, and then we have 12, and then we have 16, and we have 20. And then, ano yung isusubtract natin dyan? Yung ating first difference kanina dito. Okay, so isusubtract natin dyan. So we have 5, we have 9, we have 13, 17, and 21. And so, we have 5 minus 4 is 1, 9 minus 8 is 1, 13 minus 12 is 1, 17 minus 16 is 1, and 21 minus 20 is 1. So, we have already a common difference, meaning that is our constant. So, isulat din natin dito na mayroon na tayong common difference. I-box nyo rin siya para alam natin kung ano yung mga pagdudugtudugtungin natin. So, ano yung mga pagdudugtudugtungin natin? We have our quadratic term, which is, ayun, na-box natin kanina. So, 3n square. Ayan. Plus, since that is positive 4n, plus 1. Ayan. So, this is our general rule, our end term, or our general formula or equation. Okay? So, let us try. Tignan natin kung tama. Okay. Kukunin natin yung fourth term, which is 65. Tignan natin kung equal to 65 talaga yung ating fourth term. So, we have a sub 4 is equal to 3 times, ang n natin ay 4, that is square, plus 4 times 4, okay, plus 1. So, we have 4 times 4 is 16, times 3 is 48, plus 4 times 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1. So, we have 48 plus 16 is 64 plus 1, which is equal to 65. Okay, so if you want to check from the first term to the last term, then you may do it. Sige, yung first term, tignan nga natin kung papasa siya sa first term. So, a sub 1. So, we have 3 times 1 square plus 4 times 1 plus 1. So, we have 1 square is 1 times 3 is 3 plus 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1. So, we have 7 plus 1, which is equal to 8. Okay, 8 ba yung ating first term? Yes. Okay, so I hope this is very clear. Okay, do you need another example? Tignan nga natin. Meron pa ba tayong pwedeng example dito? Ito. Okay, we have... Ay, ito. Sige. Exciting ito. This is from your book actually. It is on page... Tignan natin. Okay, but if you have already understood this lesson, you may stop watching. Nag-enjoy lang talaga kasi ako dito. Nasaan na siya? Okay, dito siya. Ay, nasaan na siya? Nasaan na siya? Bakit wala na siya? Hindi ko naman na siya makita. Ano naman na siya? Okay, ito. Ito siya. Find the indicated partial sums. Okay, partial sums. Partial sums lang siya kasi sequence yung hanggang 6 term lang yung hinahanap, okay? But then if you notice, parang wala siyang common ratio, wala rin siyang common difference. Ayan, okay? So, buti na lang yung dito yung binigay ko kahapon, di ba? So, solve natin yan. Okay, iba ito doon sa mga nauna nating na-solve. Okay? So, we have 2, 6, 12, 20, and 30. Okay. So, first, we're going to get the first difference. Because if we do not identify the first difference, then there is no way that we can also identify whether the second difference is also the same. Okay, or common rather. So, 4 minus 6 is 6 minus 2 is 4. And then we have 12 minus 6 is 6. And then we have 20 minus 12 is 8. Then we have 10. So definitely there is no common first difference. So we have to look at the next. So we have 2, 2, and 2. Am I right? Yes. So meaning this is the coefficient of our, no, not yet. So we have to divide this. You have to always divide this by 2. So we have 1, and this is the coefficient of our n square. So we have to multiply it by n square, and that is still equal to n square. Okay, so this is our first term. Okay, or in our general rule. So please don't be confused. So we have here 1 square. Okay, we get the first 5 terms of n square, and then we have 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, and 5 square. Okay, and then we have 1, then we have 4, and then we have 9, and then we have what do you call this, 16, and then we have 25, and then we have to subtract our original sequence. Okay, our original terms. So we have 2, 6, 12, and then we have 20, and then we have 30. And then we have to subtract 2 minus 1 is 1, and 6 minus 4 is 2, 12 minus 9 is 3, and then we have 20 minus 6 is 4, then we have 30 minus 25 is 5. Okay, so again, we do not have a common difference, therefore we should go on finding the difference between these two. First difference. Okay, so this is our second difference. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so what did I miss? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yes, okay. No, I missed something. Okay, this is a mistake. Nag-advance isip ako. Okay, sorry guys, sorry about that. So we have 1 pala ito. 1 and 1. Okay, so meaning this is the coefficient of our n, isn't it? So we have 1 times n, that is equal to n. Ayan, so this is the coefficient of our n. Therefore, we are going to find the next, or the first five terms of n. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Sana naglagay ako ng space, no? Sorry, guys. And then we are going to subtract the first difference there. Okay? It's always the first difference here that we are going to subtract to the first 5 terms of our n. So we have 1, ayan, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we are going to subtract 1 minus 1 rather is 1, 2 minus 2 is 0. Sorry, that's 0. Bakit 1 ang nasabi ko? Okay, 1 minus 1 is 0, 2 minus 2 is 0, 3 minus 3 is 0, 4 minus 4 is 0, and 5 minus 5 is 0. What does this mean? This means that no term follows. Okay, tapos na tayo. So, walang susunod na term. Okay, hindi naman natin pwedeng ilagay na n square plus n plus 0. Okay, therefore, we have our general rule. We have, ayon, n square as our quadratic term plus n as our linear term, and we do not have a constant term because it is equal to 0. I hope that is clear. O, diba? Exciting siya. Iba siya dun sa mga unang examples natin. So, let us see. Let us see whether this is correct. So, yun tayo nga sa ating third term. So, a sub 3 is equal to, we are going to use this now. So, we have 3 squared plus n, or plus 3 rather. Okay, so 3 squared is 9. Plus 3 is equal to 12, and that's also equal to 12. Okay. So if you have any question about these examples or about quadratic sequence, you may comment down below your answers. Okay, happy watching. Thank you.